Welcome back, gang. It's Deltia from Deltiasgaming.com, back with another Gaming to Gym Rat episode. For a lot of us, the holidays are a tough time making healthy choices along with the winter and being sedentary. I know I feel that this year particularly. I'm going to share with you my favorite snacks to keep your calories low and your fullness high. I'm not 20 years old anymore. I got to watch what I eat, staying full and not going on a Deltia bender with 4 Pop-Tarts covered in peanut butter, honey, and Nutella. Not speaking from experience or anything. Let's get into it. Stay shredded with these snacks. Okay, before we get into it, I want you to know that typically I plot out my meals for the entire week in a plan and stick to it. These snacks come in handy in between meals, especially when I'm getting crazy cravings, whether it's sweet, whether it's sour, or specifically salty. I find that the lower my calories go, the increase in cravings I get. So whether you're someone who struggles with that, especially the nighttime eating or something, these are what I found to use that really help me. No, I'm not a registered dietitian. I have a certification in personal training and passed a board exam in health coaching. Talk to your doctor before you make any changes to your health. Now the disclaimer's over, let's get into it. All right, so the first snack up, and what I highly recommend people buy, is good old Orville Redenbacher popcorn. The reason why is this puppy's 100 calories. And the thing about this is it's 100 calories per bag. A lot of the nutrition labels are very deceptive. And what happens is it'll say like by gram, it'll say by ounce or by fluid ounce. And 9 times out of 10, people are not going to actually get a scale and weigh it out. Take oatmeal, for example. Oatmeal says 1 cup, but if you actually put a cup of oatmeal, dump it in a scale, it's way more than what you actually think it is. This is why for 100 calories, this Orville Redenbacher you can buy in bulk on Amazon for dirt cheap is my go-to snack when I'm feeling like I need to eat something in between meals. Another added benefit of this popcorn is it's salty. Some people crave salt, some people crave sweet things or sour, but me, salty is what my #1 trip up is. So this is a great alternative to something else like a 1,000-calorie cheeseburger just in between meals to get you the next one. And now we've talked about sweet things, and my #1 go-to for a sweet snack is sugar-free Jello. So this thing here is only 10 calories, and also it comes in the cups. So it's pre-weighed, pre-measured, and you don't have to guess to what it actually is, what you're actually getting. When I feel completely overwhelmed by that sweet, sugary craving you get, especially when you're going low carb or lower calories, I'll eat 4 of these things. Yes, it's 40 calories. Yes, it's probably not the best ingredients in here, but it's better than going on a complete and total bender. And that's usually what I lead to. If I don't have these snacks in between meals, and I'm not managing myself appropriately, usually my brain overwhelms me. And it doesn't matter how disciplined you are, you will cheat on your diet. It's much better to take a little bit off the top, have a little bit more calories and spill over a little bit than a lot. Also, you don't have to get this. There's actually little packets of Jello that you can make in big, huge tubs and pans that are absolutely dirt cheap. I like these packets because it's weighed, it's measured, it's very convenient just to get a spoon, and it's mobile. What I used to do when I was dieting down is have that entire pan of Jello, and I'd eat the whole thing. Might be 100 calories, but I was so dang hungry for some sweets. It would be better eating that entire tub of Jello and feeling very full than going on a bender. Another favorite salty snack is good old pickles. So pickles are basically water and vinegar. There's not much to them, and especially looking at the nutrition facts, you don't want to get a brand that has very few ingredients. That's what you're looking for on the nutrition label on the side. What I love about pickles is it's 5 calories a spear. That's very low, and it has some volume to it. So it kind of fills you up in between meals, or what I like to do is add them to meals. So if I'm having a meal that's very low volume, very low calorie, and I need something to fill me up and kind of trick my brain into thinking that I'm full, this is what I add to the meals. Be careful, it does have a lot of sodium, so you're sensitive to that. Be aware that that might not be the best choice for you. But for me, I love the salty flavor, and the pickle juice specifically, I can just drink it out of the jug. This is a great alternative for a salty snack. Next up is my #1 defense against a meltdown right before bedtime when you're craving something sweet. What I go with is both Greek yogurt in almonds. So first up, we have these almond packets here. They're 100 calorie, and I go with walnut and almonds. It has a little bit of dried cranberries too, but the thing I like about this is it's pre-packaged. So it's 100 calories for the pack. What happens a lot of times with almonds, nuts, and peanut butter is people think that, oh, I'm eating a tablespoon of peanut butter. If you actually weigh what that tablespoon actually is, it might be 2 or 3. You're getting triple the calories. Same thing with nuts. They're very low volume, but they're very dense in calories. That's kind of going counterintuitive of what I said earlier. But the reason I like the walnuts and the almonds combination is that fat makes you feel really, really full. You combine it with something like Greek yogurt that has, 12, 15 grams of protein in it already. It has a sweet flavor, and this is sub 100 calories. So this is 100 calories, roughly. This is 100 calories, roughly. So you have about a 200 calorie snack right before bedtime. That's usually the number one trip up people get. They don't eat enough throughout the day. So they get to the nighttime and they're just starving. Again, it comes down to mental discipline. That's why I try to eat more in the mornings and start eating less as the day goes by, because I want to feel full and satisfied. So when I get to that night, I don't have a bender. But we all make mistakes. And if you're one of those people, try the Greek yogurt and almond combination. It makes a big difference. Next up was kind of a different one. We've talked about food a bit. Now let's talk about drinks. Now, I don't drink alcohol, so a bunch of different reasons why. But I do drink non-alcoholic O'Doul's and tomato juice or red beer. The reason I drink this is because it fills you up. This combination here of O'Doul's non-alcoholic beer and tomato juice is about 110, 120 calories. That gives you a lot of fluid ounces. Plus, it's super salty. So it fills your stomach up, tells your brain you're full, gives you that salty flavor that you like, especially in the summertime. But you don't have the alcohol with it, and you have very, very low calories. So in between meals in the summertime when I'm very, very active and it's hot outside, I want something salty because I'm losing water through sweat. This is what I go with. Combine it with a glass of water, you're getting a ton of fluid ounces. You might have to pee a lot, but it's gonna get you through to the next meal instead of making a bad choice. Next up with drinks is a sweet flavored one, and that's Crystal Light. Crystal Light's about 5 or 10 calories per about 8 to 12 fluid ounces. Yes, this does not have the best ingredients. Yes, it has artificial sugars, but I would much rather have a 5 to 10, 15 calorie drink than something that's 2, 3, 400 predominantly just of sugar. So a lot of times, for whatever reason, I don't know if it's culturally, when I was growing up or what, I want something sweet when I eat. Most of all my food choices are pretty much salty. I like the salty thing, but I want something sweet to go with it. So this is a good alternative that I use instead of drinking a very high calorie, something that has tons and tons of sugar with it. 10, 12, 8 fluid ounces, we're good to go. I get through the mealtime without making a bad choice. Speaking of drinks, the number one is good old black coffee. So this is my little coffee mug here, nothing fancy about it. When I was getting down to single digit body fat preparing for a bodybuilding show, I don't know what it is, but I stumbled upon black coffee. Never drank it in the army, nothing like that, but I stumbled upon it. About 5, 10 calories or so. You're going to want to get the unsweetened and all the ones that have tons and tons of stuff in them. You're not going to want to add anything to it. But if you do, for whatever reason, it takes my appetite away. It kind of sours my gut, if you will. So I kind of find myself struggling on my diet and cravings at 2 specific points. One is in the morning after my workouts. Usually my metabolism's kicked up. I'm super fired up. I've done a lot of high energy stuff. And even though I've just ate, I'm usually hungry like an hour or 2 later. That 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock window for me is where I struggle. And that's where I take about 12, 15 ounces of coffee and know it has a lot of caffeine in it, but it just controls my appetite. And it's liquid, very low calorie, fills me up, something I can sip on during the day. And then it gets me to that noon, lunchtime time period where then I can eat a meal and get to the next one. So think about black coffee if you're not a fan already. I just stumbled into when I was 30 years old, never drank it before. Next up is good old spinach. Yeah, it tastes like dirt, not a whole lot of flavor in it. What I use spinach for is to kind of trick my brain before I go out to social events. So typically I'm really good at planning my meals, sticking to a diet, being meticulous throughout the week. But what happens? The weekend happens. Social gatherings happen. Birthday parties, holiday events. You want to go out for food with your friends. And that is a landmine for making massive mistakes. Trust me, I know. Pretty soon it turns into a 5-course meal. I got 2 desserts for myself, an appetizer, 2 entrees. I'm going absolutely ballistic, and I lose my entire progress throughout the week because of one meal going out with my friends or family. So what I learned to do is use something like spinach or something with high volume, extremely low calorie, and I eat it right before I get in the car. So I'll have like light ranch with spinach, maybe a whole bowl of it. It tastes like dirt, not very good. But I tell myself, fine, you're going to go have a nice fancy dinner. It's going to be great. You can eat a bowl of spinach. So what happens is I get to the party, I get to the event, I get to the restaurant, and I'm pretty full already. Might sip some black coffee in between too. That way when I get there, I'm not ordering 14 appetizers for myself and I'm just completely starving. You can use the same trick when you go to the grocery store too. Fill yourself up a little bit, then enjoy the entree, maybe a little bit of dessert, so you don't spill over and completely demolish and destroy your progress for the week. And there you have it, my snacks to keep you shredded. Hope you got something out of this video. And keep in mind, there are many other tips, tricks, and combinations to try. What I've found best is to treat my body and my diet like a build. Everyone's different based on genetics. Sure, some things generally work for everyone, but to really fine-tune and make progress, you have to realize you are a unique individual. Only through trial and error, doing well, screwing up, making changes, and progressing do you sort out and figure out what works best for you. Speaking of that, I'd love to share with you my diet, how I go about creating the diet, and so forth. So if you like this type of content, wanted me to crank out more gamer to gym rat videos, hit that like, hit subscribe, and leave me a comment on what you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching.